Hello, this is Molly Reamer with 30 Days of Goddess in Bridget's Grove with a brief flip through video of my August prayer book for 30 Days of Goddess. As always, you can feel free to check out 30daysofgoddess.com for free practice printables, inspiration, encouragement, and support as you create practices to help you make a space for the sacred and for yourself in your own life. So this will be pretty brief. If you have questions about anything, feel free to ask me. I often use resources from the same people as the prayer book unfolds, so you'll hear me mention the same people from video to video, and that's part of, I like that, the communal kind of aspect of this prayer book process. So anyway, I have my own little Pachamama sticker on the front. Pachamama was the goddess we were honoring for August. And then I have some stickers still to use. I liked this one. Books are magical, but I want to save it for something, and I haven't ended up using it yet. And so anyway, you see things from Kelly Lincoln of Dancing Goddess Dolls, pieces from Ashley Levy of Love and Light School, and then my own snapshot cards, which are also available at 30daysofgoddess.com, free printables. And then for expanded practices, you can go to Patreon, to the Goddess Magic community there, patreon.com/goddessmagic. A little piece from my friend Chalet with her book. She has a book of cut-outable things based on her past tie-dye work. And then Cauldron Month, so cauldrons represented. Oh, I still have a rune left in my pocket. I make the word of the month. Interesting. That probably could tell me something if I pay a little bit more attention. And it was, so I make the word card into a pocket here. But anyway, I'm not going to explain all the components. I've got my moon wheel. I'm just going to let you see what I've got, see what's in there. And then if you have curiosity about anything, you can let me know what you'd like to hear more about. Otherwise, I'm trying to keep these relatively simple in terms of length for walkthroughs of these. Amanda Fall, the Phoenix Soul, she's another person you'll see represented quite a bit in these. And then these are pieces from our Lammas altar, and so that these, you can see them reflected in the mandala we made together, and then the actual pieces are pressed as a little bit of extra pressed flowers in there. A lot of my own cards. I create weekly inspiration oracle cards. My cousin came to visit, so we're visiting her. We create inspiration oracle cards for members of the Goddess Magic community every week, just about, and so a lot of those cards you can see reflected in my book. And then this is like a little bits and pieces from an ephemera swap, and I believe it was Kim who sent me that, and finally it was the perfect time to pop that one in there. Some early leaves, more pieces from Amanda, lots of stickers. My pages this month were pretty simple. It was my Cauldron Month, nice fun postcard from Christy of her labyrinth that's about an hour away from her, and she sent me that, and so that was really great. And this, I believe this same day was the day I did my book launch for The Great Between, which is about Inanna, so having a labyrinth in there felt really perfect, and I used that lavender labyrinth card. This is actually from my elephant ear plant. I used a punch to punch out a piece of a leaf that was dying and put that in there, so that was kind of fun for me, a little something different. Some feathers from the river, another card from, I can't open it because the feather's there, but another card from Amanda, and then some pictures of me at the river, finding them. Let's see what this is. Apparently never stuck that in. I think I meant to, and I didn't. So anyway, what I was saying is this journal, I have shifted a lot. These are all real flowers from a mandala. I have shifted a lot lately to keeping my, this is when we were on, we went on a little trip to Big Cedar Lodge near Table Rock Lake, and so these were things I collected from our walks there, and then we went to this little 5 and dime store, so that was a business card from them, and that's the lodge building that we stay in, and our little wristbands from that, and some projects that I worked on. My mom came with us, and we worked on some projects, so that's my actual Dorset button that I made with her there, and then a picture of the quilled goddesses that we made. There's a real quill, and then there's just a picture of the quilled goddesses that we made. So in some ways, when I travel, the prayer book becomes, instead of just a devotional companion, it becomes almost like a mini scrapbook of being at wherever we are. So that is where we were. And it takes on that kind of character. So the things don't necessarily relate to the word. They're kind of just based on being there at the site where we are. So they changed texture a little bit. And then I got home and I had my little present from Patreon. They sent me a swag box of good stuff. And so that was a tag and a sticker from that little swag box. And anyway, so I keep trying to say the same thing, which is that I've shifted in, just like I've shifted my walking schedule to be much earlier in the morning than it used to be due to heat, though now it's starting to mercifully cool off a little bit. I've also shifted my journaling, my prayer book practice, where I still write. I walk first now, I come home, I sit on the back porch and I write. And then I usually end up actually working on the art part of the page in the evening while I listen to audiobooks for our literature curriculum with my youngest son. So as we both, he's keeping a book too, so we write his poem together. We work, which is really just a synopsis of his day. We work on our journal pages at the same time while we're listening to our audiobooks. And so to that end, oops, small spoiler alert for some next year projects. And this is a real leaf, one of the earlier leaves of fall. Oh, this is adorable. This is a tiny little Good Manners book from the toy maker Marilyn, and I'm one of her patrons on Patreon, and this was, I could not resist that. Is that not the most precious, amazing thing? Amazing. So I put that in there too. And this is the day I made grape jelly. I wrote some poems about that and talked about that to our community practice live. So anyway, so my pages are a little simpler because I'm just simply not spending as much time on them as I have in the past. And I could let myself feel, bad about that or disappointed about that, or I could just recognize it as responding to my life as it is right now. And my life as it is right now prioritizes needing to or wanting to walk in the morning and get a good walk in. And if that means my prayer book pages have to be simpler in the evening, then so be it. That makes sense to me. So I could shame and blame myself about it, feel like I wasn't doing it quote unquote right. But instead, I'm choosing to see it part of the evolving practice. This practice is a flexible one. And it really is, it's not a prescription. It's not about doing it right. It's not about doing it right. And so I've said that before, that if you start to feel like there's too much to do, remember that this practice is here to hold you, not to tell you what to do. So if you start to feel like there's a big list of things you're not doing, it means to let something go. Because this practice is here to hold you, not to tell you what to do. So it should nourish and support you and be a repository or a storehouse for wisdom and magic, a place to check back in with. This is a little camper cabin we stayed in on the way to the crystal mine, or the copper mine that we went to. I talked about that a lot with my Goddess Magic community patrons during our live too. So here's some pictures from that and from the hike that we took at the Pickle Springs natural area that was close by. And a cute little page from Joni Ray, coloring page, Cozy Mice. I didn't finish coloring it because basically, again, you don't have to do everything. And the practice is here to support you, not to tell you what to do. And so if it starts to feel like too much, let something go. And you can also look at your life to think, how am I prioritizing things? Am I allowing myself space for the sacred and for myself? Or have I just simply layered on so many things that it feels like too much? And let it go until it feels manageable and that it's here to support you and hold you and nourish you instead of be something else on your to-do list. The last thing I want anyone to feel like is that this process is just one more thing to do. That's not what it's about at all. It's about nourishing, encouraging, supporting, and inspiring you. So then I have my Gaia card, who was the saved over goddess packet from Gaia Goddess Gathering last year. And then I have my Pachamama card, who was our goddess of the month. So that's my encouragement card. That card travels with me through every page. That's why it's at the end now, is because it travels with me through every page of the book and is a daily companion. I often find myself rereading and pulling out the little prayer and reviewing that as the days unfold. So that is, to me, an important touchstone and simple practice in terms of connecting with the goddess of the month, is to just let that card travel along with you. So this one has some cards and things left still in the back that I will tear out and move into other books. Though, and then these two, it has all these, which also are going to get moved to my September book. But a reminder that these little cards here can easily, these books are really designed to be kind of a grab and go practice. So you can cut out, oops, little glue there. You can cut out the little mini words from them, the little mini affirmations. You can cut out a central prayer. You can just stick that down. You often see these represented in pockets in my book, but if you don't have stuff to make pockets with, or you don't want to make pockets, you can just glue them down and have that prayer card. You don't have to write a new prayer. You can stick it in the middle right there and have that be your prayer of the day. I do find that the cards are often most helpful if you actually read them out loud and let them kind of sink in, soak into you. So then moving right along to my guidebook, my August guidebook, Simple and Sacred Nourish. And these guidebooks are a benefit of the Goddess Magic community. I'm working on a new plan for 2025, but in the meantime, if you go ahead and join us at the Goddess Magic community, you'll still get, there's 3 more guidebooks before the year is over, so you will still get those if you join in. You can also go backwards and get the ones from previous months if you're interested. And then I'm working on a new means of shared experiencing in 2025, so I'm still keeping a little bit of a lid on what that is, but I will reveal it soon. So I had a couple Cauldron month bookmarks. I didn't show that one to you really before. I think this has some daily practice reminder cards in it from a previous project that I had worked on, and that's pretty awesome if I do so myself. And then there's also I keep like some reminders in the front pockets here that I like to review repeatedly. So the stuff in the pockets I will look at, every day or close to every day. Our Wheel of the Year, and I'm working on this for 2025 as well, because we're going to do another 12 months of the year. And this one has lots of stuff in it. I really enjoyed working in this book. That's from my friend Chalet, like I was talking about. I'll try to remember to link to that book. It's meant to be cut up ephemera to use in your art journals and things like that. And so lots of good stuff represented in these. I have a mixed relationship with these guidebooks in that I adore using them after they're made. I absolutely adore them. I love them. I think, not to pat myself on the back too hard, but I feel like these are a tremendous resource. I feel like they were a tremendous gift to my community this year. They've been a gift to myself. I adore using them. I love them. And I look so forward to having the next months and using it and working on it and filling it out. And there's just something really nourishing about being able to just receive from it or explore or tap into the wisdom contained herein without necessarily having to create anything new. It just really feels like an opportunity to reflect, to connect, to soak, to steep, really. But the process of writing a new one or preparing a new one every month is very much like having to write a new book every single month. And that is a Herculean task. That is not actually a realistic task to expect of myself, to write a new book every single month. It really isn't. And so while I love having them and I delight in having them after they're done, the process of needing to put them together and feeling like I have to write a new book every month has been a challenge. So I'm trying to think of a plan for next year, and this teeny tiny Pachamama prayer book in there, which I think is adorable if I use it myself. And so the process, I'm trying to think of ways to still give myself and other people in the community the joy of having the guidebook without the pressure of writing a new book every single month, because it's really how it feels. And I know, yeah, the print is large, and they end up, including the blank page in the back, they end up only being about 50 pages. It's only about 38 pages of text, and the print is large. So, but anyway, for all intents and purposes, it's very similar to having to produce and write a new book every month, which, like I said, is just kind of an inhuman or even inhumane expectation of myself to do that kind of endeavor. So anyway, love them and struggle at the same time. So I'm working on new plans for 2025 to hopefully still be rewarding and nourishing and powerful without quite so much monthly expenditure of energy and creative effort in that way. So this was left over from Leslie Braginski of the Pistols, and this was an envelope. I got art mail from her, and so she drew this on the envelope, and I had the sudden realization I could cut her out and make her into this. I didn't end up sticking anything underneath, but maybe I still will. I'm not sure, but there is space underneath, and I do really love so this was an envelope, and so it still has the little join there, and she'd written that, and this is how I made it fit into my book. So I'm actually quite in love with that little addition. That was really fun for me. And then I still have my tempera paint marker quote unquote stickers that I can use on future projects, and my Council of Goddess poems as a reminder. And then of course, snapshot cards in the pockets. And again, like I said, I review these almost every day. I find them really important touchstones, really important check-in points, really important pieces of connection and ongoing devotion. It's a process of this ongoing devotion and a way of centering and returning to the heart of the practice and to what we hope to gain or what we hope to experience from a daily dedicated practice of devotion is this place of return, this place of homecoming, this place of center, this place of replenishment, this place of nourishment, this place of return. And so rereading those cards for me is one of the ways I bring those desires into reality. So thank you so much for being here. Make sure to go to 30daysofgoddess.com for all the resources you would like. And then also check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/goddessmagic, to engage in deeper practice in community. So we do have live community practices. We have a live monthly circle, all kinds of good stuff going on there with various tiers of membership to best meet your needs. So thanks so much for watching. Keep living your magic. Bye-bye.